Alright, so I'm using my new webcam and the monitor is weird looking, so I'm just gonna babble and hope this works. So, I saw on Effy Wild's blog that she was doing a thing that Willowing started where they're doing one vlog a day. And I thought that would be really fun because I love doing vlogs and stuff, and I always feel like I have this pressure to make like the perfect video. So instead, I have this new cam and I'm just sitting at my desk and talking into the camera. And so it's nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking, it's just me blabbing on to you. So, yes, I have a new camera, and you can see there's my big painting above my bed. I actually recorded this already, and then it didn't record sound because I didn't hit the right sound source because it's the first time I've used it. So, we're going over it again. And hopefully this time I will be less babbly and more cohesive or whatever. And my window is right here. There's my window. So you can see. There it is. That's why it's so light right in front of me. Let's see. Okay, cool. I got back to where I wanted it. So, it's really cool, nifty camera. I can't wait to do like an actual journaling video with it, which I'm aiming to do tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I got to take an adventure to the Arizona Access office in downtown Phoenix, and there was like a month ago I went to Healthy Arizona, where you go to apply for, you know, state-assisted health insurance because no health insurance company will take me because of too many pre-existing conditions like the fibromyalgia, the arthritis, the restless leg, or it goes on and on and on. So I can't get health insurance unless I work full-time or I ask for state-assisted aid while hiring a lawyer to go through the whole disabled thing again. My brain, this is how it's working today. Almost died 3 times while driving, which was fantastic. But now I have my big, well, it's almost empty, but my big thing of Diet Coke. So anyway, I applied for this, and she wanted records of how much I make, because she's like, well, how do you pay for things? And I was like, well, I sell stuff online, and, you know, whatever. And I said eBay, because not a lot of people know what Etsy is, but, so I told her that was what, you know, how I generated income. And so she wanted like proof of the income, blah blah blah, and I didn't know when it was due, so I got a letter saying that I was denied and that I could apply for a hearing. So I did that, and apparently now her managers or supervisors and stuff want like all of this stuff from me. I had to bring in my birth certificate, I had to bring in proof of self-employed income, I had to bring in I also had to, because March was the month that I sold the paintings and did the donation, that's in there too, because it says, you know, I made a certain amount of money. I'm like, no, I didn't. This money went towards that and stuff. And I found out her husband did mission in Japan and stuff like that. So she actually turned out to be really cool, which was like fantastic, because you can get caseworkers whenever you're doing any of this stuff that are just not. And she just seems like really down to earth, really sweet. And she sent me over to the Arizona Department of Economic Security to fill out a form for access health insurance, cash assistance, or temporary assistance, and apparently tuberculosis control benefits, all on this nice big form. And you can see it's nice. So I have to fill this out and bring it in there. So I have some kind of insurance during the 4 to 6 months it takes for the disability portion to decide if I get insurance from them. And this is only going to last until July because Governor Brewer decided she hates people who are poor. So a lot of people are getting cut off of the health insurance and cash assistance programs in Arizona. Because the best way to save money on budgets is to give tax breaks to large corporations and cut off everyone who doesn't make a certain amount of money. I'm not going to get into that whole arena of things because it just makes me angry, and I can just see how it's going to affect my life. You know, it's one of those things as you get older, you know, like when you're a teenager and when you're in college, all this political stuff just is interesting, but you never see it really affecting your life. I'm sure other people have, but I've always been middle class, and so it just never has. But now it's like things that I really have to pay attention to, like the Planned Parenthood thing, since I'm you know, disabled and stuff and I don't have health insurance, I was going to go there for a gynecologist appointment. I don't know why I'm talking about this to a camera, but anyway, because I had surgery when I was 21 because I have health problems in that area and I haven't gotten a biopsy in about 6 years, which I was supposed to get one every year, so, you know, that's the kind of things that happen when you don't have insurance. You can't get stuff. So anyway, I got to go there and you had to stand in line, and there's like no clear place marked for where the line starts or anything like that. It was just like people standing, and I just kind of assumed this must be a line of some sort. And so I waited in line, and then I talked to her, and there's like a huge stack of these applications, and she's like, do you want to see someone today? And at that point, because my brain was hurting, throbbing in my head from my bike ride this morning or whatever, and I had almost gotten into 3 car accidents, I was like, maybe I need to go home and just relax. So I was like, no, I'll fill this out and I'll come back tomorrow morning and see someone. And this guy came up and he had like an eye patch and a backpack, and he's like, excuse me. And the woman's like, there's a line over there, and or something like that. You have to wait in line. And so he just like went, oh, fine, forget it. And he like walked out and was on his phone, and it's like, you were already through here. You waited in line and you went through, which I understand. And you have a question, but what she's saying is, you know, the people who have questions or want to see someone have to wait in line. I think that's only fair. I mean, like, when I go to the post office, there's times where, like, someone will have to fill something out, and they're like, just fill it out and just wait here. You don't have to wait in the line again and whatever. But you do have to wait for the person who's talking to the teller to finish before it's your turn. So it was just like, I was like, whatever. So I went down to the QT, and I got myself a sucker and some Diet Coke, and I came home, and I recorded my first video, and the sound didn't record, and then I watched part of Inception, and now I'm back here. So that was my grand adventures for the day. Ooh, way. So much fun. I get to do that again tomorrow, which will be just as thrilling and exciting, and you'll hear about it again because I guess I'm recording every day now because it's kind of fun, actually, instead of vlogging. It takes me less time. So this is my purse. A big, hunky, awesome purse that I got in a clearance bin at Walmart a couple years ago. And I just thought I would go over, because people always ask, you know, what do you carry with you? What are the supplies that you love? Blah, blah, blah. Gosh, I sound like the minister, or the priest at one of my niece's christenings. He was like, blah, 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 yada, 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 etc., etc. And we're like, is that in the Bible? But, you know, like, okay, dude, whatever. You're Irish and you're a priest. We're just going to leave you alone. You probably drank some this morning. So, anyway, in my purse, I have, of course, my journal. Here it is. It's getting really thick, and I've actually started just going back and forth on the same, I don't know, 4 pages. So, like, I drew this little face when I was out for coffee with a friend of mine. And then here's some I'm working on. I mean, you've seen pictures of these. I mean, there's nothing woo about them. I'm just kind of working back and forth. This is actually cast-off, what I call a cast-off page. What it is if I'm working on something, and like I use a stencil or something, I plop it down on here. If I'm using paint and I have some left over, I pop it down. And that's kind of how a lot of my pages start. And here's some more that I was working on and playing with. So I carry that with me everywhere. And I carry what I call my brain, which is this, and I will get into what's in this in a minute, because I had some really cool things happen. And depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing, I have 2 kind of sets of what I carry. The first one is, this is like the light edition. If I'm, you know, if I am going out, I have found that when I don't carry my journal, that's when I need it, so I just always carry it now. And in here I love these Prismacolor Premier markers. I have the black one in all kinds of sizes and colors and stuff, and I love those. I have a black charcoal pencil and a white charcoal pencil, because let me tell you, if you want to color white over anything, that works. And then I have a couple sketching pencils that I use, and since my pages already have so much on them background-wise, I don't really have to worry about, you know, carrying paint and stuff to make a page. And then I have an eraser and my double-sided tape, the best double-sided tape in the world. If I am in my house, or going out specifically to journal, or if I'm going to go out and work on something in my brain notebook, I always bring this kind of stuff with, just in case. I have my pencil case, and this is one that I made myself. And I have a water brush, and I really like, this is like the giant nib. Here, my hair is really bright because of the window, so we'll do that. Giant nib. The display went to sleep. Wake up! It did like static for a second. It was really cool. And then I have a bunch of the Derwent Color Soft and the Derwent Ink. It's just how my day's going. Ink Tense. I love the Color Soft and Ink Tense. I love them so much. That's what I color with. And I think I have different. I have like a gray pastel, and then I have the other sizes of like the Prismacolor marker thingies, the bobbers. Is this? No, that's different. So I carry that. And then this was my birthday present to myself. It's one of those travel watercolor, like real watercolor kits. And I have no idea what I'm doing with watercolors. I really don't. There are some amazing watercolor people out there, and I am not one of them. Acrylics is kind of my bag when it comes to doing actual paintings. But I have been experimenting with watercolors, but I am using them in the way I want to use them. I'm not like looking at like instructions or other people's watercolors or stuff like that and being like, okay, I have to do it this way. I'm like, you've seen this painting, you know, I used it in my way. I got it really wet, and then I blotted, and I did all kinds of stuff to get the look I want. And that's basically how I use supplies, is I use them to get the look I want or to discover a new way to use them, but I don't think I'll ever be an amazing watercolorist. But I do enjoy using them from time to time. And they're so easy for me to take as a travel thing, to add color to whatever I'm working on, so I just kind of use them for that. And they're fun, and I like writing with them and stuff like that. So I'm learning more and more about them every day, but I admire people who are amazing with watercolors, and I think that's awesome, but it's not, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. So I don't use them in the way. I do my own thing. Let's see, that's not art stuff. I have a bunch of paper in here that like I did using spray inks and such, and some of them have had stuff cut out of them for other purposes, but I just carry like this, or I'll find like some scrapbooking paper or found papers, and I'll just like grab whatever's caught my attention that day and do that. I have a couple packs of like 6x6 paper that I really, really love. That usually is in here, but it's not right now because I didn't want to play with it, I guess, you know. And then I have my my Martha Stewart fine tip glue pen, which is awesome. And then I have a bunch of these trims and it's just literally in here. And then I have some Copics and some markers in here as well. My Canaveras purse. Yeah, I'll show you the inside. It's just cavern. I can't really see it, but anyway, it is. There's just whatever. So, I don't know how long I've been recording. A couple more things. So I have this is my brain, and it's from Leah, Art Junk Girl, and it's got the first 2 chapters of the video workshop in it that I'm filming now, which is going to be awesome, and you can sign up for it if you want to take it. And then I just started, I was really thinking about, this is me doodling by the pool. See, she's got a bathing suit on. I've been really thinking about Goddess Leonie, and I'm sorry if I don't say her name right. She did this video and she sang this little song that if what you're doing isn't working, try something else. So since things have been so weird for me, coming out with 2 workshop ideas and having not very many people sign up for them, which is weird for me because usually when I put out a workshop or some sort, you know, I get a certain number of people who sign up right away, and that hasn't been happening, and so I'm just like, okay, so I have to try something else. So I basically threw up on paper. This is my notes. And I started with what tools help me get started journaling, and so I'm going to do a kit which is going to be like a couple PDFs and a bunch of audio files for you to listen to, and kind of, you can listen to them while you're working, or you can listen to them and then start working, but they're just little kits to kind of get you started. And I don't want to use visual components for these because I don't want you to see what I've created and then try to create that. So there's going to be a couple, like, you know, there's going to be PDFs and stuff, but when it comes to the actual things that you're doing, it's going to be audio, like I said, because I don't want what I've created to influence your concept of what you should be creating, if that makes any sense. I mean, I know we all look online in other people's journals and stuff, and then we want to create that, and in classes we want to do that too. And I really want you to not strive for something that you've seen. I want you to listen to the exercises and create based on what comes up into your head, instead of looking at what I've done and listening to what I'm telling you and then trying to do that, if it makes sense. So I've got a couple here, and then I've got some more notes because I wanted to figure out a couple things, and I decided that I want to create a toolbox for people who are journaling, if you've been journaling for a while and stuff like that, because while I'm painting and stuff, I kind of realized that what my focus is and what I'm passionate most about is journaling and discovery and healing through it. So I was like, I should probably do that. So, like, I've got different kind of notes for different things, like binding and creating. I have like free videos and then workshops. And then getting started, I have free things and then paid things. And then going deeper, I have free things. And so I'm making this toolbox for you can view all the free things that I've done and will do in the future and get this experience, or you can, you know, do the paid path through it, or you can mix and match wherever you feel comfortable. Like if you already know how to bind but you want to try something else. So I thought that's just something that came up that I never even thought about, and I'm realizing that I have more thoughts that come out better on paper than if I just think them in my head and then not record them, which I need to start doing. And so I was like, what about this mad scientist approach that I have to journaling, using it as, you know, a lab instead of a studio and just experimenting and stuff. And what I came up with was where you experiment while working intuitively. It stresses out-of-the-box thinking when it comes to expressing yourself. How can you use everyday things in new ways? You come up against your internal definition of what a journal is, shape, content, etc., and turn it on its head. And I'm kind of playing with this idea of a journal definition, where you think of a journal in a certain way, like it's written, or it has this kind of visuals in it, or it has that kind. There's some Skype on the other side of the wall. Hopefully it's not too loud. And you use that, and that kind of predefines, again, talking about this idea of you've seen this, a journal as this, that predefines what you're doing. So I'm just playing with that kind of thing and stuff like that. So like 3D elements, like here's some stuff, and I have pom-poms and trims and these little guys that I was making and stuff like that. So I'm playing with three-dimensional elements in my journal. I have brads and all kinds of pennants and staples and everything like that, and I'm just exploring that idea. So I think maybe I'll get into that more. So here's the one I finished. And I'm putting her on Etsy. I love this painting. I do, I really do. But I love paying for medication more. And so I'm going to put her on Etsy, and hopefully someone will buy her, and then I can actually purchase maybe 2 weeks of medication instead of 1 week at a time, which will be fantastic. Because actually this won't even cost... If I put this up on Etsy for $75, that will not even cover 1 month of any of my medications, just to give you an idea of how much things cost. And then here's the canvas that I'm working on now. And that's the orientation it's at right now. And all I did was I was working on these papers, and then I took the stencil and I just put it down, and so it was all Adirondack. So I sprayed it and smushed it around, and we'll see where that goes. I'm going to work on that now, actually. I'm going to play in my journal and work on that now because I need some of that downtime, and then it's time for me to go and watch TV because that's like my favorite thing to do. And I write while I'm watching TV, and I work in my journal, and I want to do a whole like post about journaling with, you know, when you have your low energy days or you're not feeling good or stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So there's my blabber for today, and I guess I will see all of you tomorrow, and we'll see how many days I keep this up. Hopefully every day. We'll try. Bye.